Hello, I'm Yapi Laporta. Welcome to Ministry Monday. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 tips for balancing marriage, ministry, and family life. Number 1, family life for every minister is a prerequisite for ministry. Because if we read in the book of Timothy where it alludes to ministry, it says, if somebody does not know how to treat his family or to run his home life, his family life, he's not fit to be a minister. So every minister needs to understand the success in ministry revolves around the success of family life. Family life is a prerequisite for ministry. Secondly, it is important for ministers, particularly men, to make time for their wives. Nowadays, that we have such a lot of women also entering into the ministry, it is also important for them to understand that they need to make time for their spouses. Because if you don't make time for one another, you can become separated and alienated. Ministry can become a very busy place that you are so taken up with your ministry in trying to solve the world's problems that you create problems for yourself and for your spouse. I have a friend who dedicates every Friday to his wife. His wife's name is Abeline. And when we want to organize meetings on a Friday, he said, oh no, not on a Friday. And I have called that day Saint Abeline's Day, because that saint Friday is dedicated to her. So it's therefore important for all ministers to understand we need to make time for one another in order to help our marriages. Thirdly, we need to understand that there must be separation between church life and family life. Sometimes ministers can be so taken up with church life that they forget that they have a family life. A friend of mine told me once of a minister who was so busy that her 12-year-old daughter once went to the secretary and made an appointment with her mother. And at home she said to her mother she wants to talk to her mother 12 o'clock. The mother said, no, I have an appointment. I can't talk to you at 12 o'clock. Let's see whether we can talk tonight. And 12 o'clock, the mother opened the door and said to her secretary, where's my appointment? And her daughter was sitting on the chair. And she said, where's my appointment? And the secretary said, there's your appointment. And it was a very embarrassing experience for that pastor to realize that she has not made the separation between family life and church life. It is therefore important for ministers to understand if you're a woman at home, you are not a pastor, you're a mother or a wife. If you're a man at home, you're not a pastor, you're a husband or a father. Fourthly, it is important to balance family, marriage, and ministry life by listening. Sometimes ministers in family life can become so accustomed to listen to other people and stop listening to their family members, particularly their children and their spouses. So listening is an important art that ministers of the gospel need to learn. Because how can you try to help if you don't hear? How can you try to help if you don't hear and understand? So listening is therefore very important. Lastly, ministers need to make time for their children. For instance, to set time aside when the children are struggling with homework, or to set time apart when the children are having sport days and all other recreational functions at school. It is so good when the parents are there. So ministers need to learn that. It has become a custom in the South African context that women put the children to bed. It is important for men to understand they also have a responsibility to put their children in bed, to learn them to pray and to kiss them good night. Let's recap. 5 tips for the balancing of marriage, ministry, and family life is: family is a prerequisite for ministry. You need to make, as a minister, time for your spouse. Thirdly, there needs to be a separation between church life and family life. Fourthly, ministers need to learn the art of listening. Fifthly, ministers need to make time for their children. If you have any questions, use the hashtag AskPastorJapi. Connect with me on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Remember that I upload content twice a week. On Mondays, Ministry Monday, where I share my heart with pastors. On Fridays, tough questions, where we deal with tough social questions. Subscribe to these contents so that you lose or miss nothing. Thank you. See you next time.